Hey guys, what's up? My name's Amanda. Welcome to my vlog. Unnamed vlogged at the moment, but we'll get there. So I'll just give a little background about me. I'm 23. I currently live in New York, and I've never had sex, and not because I don't want to. So a little bit about that. I was recently diagnosed with vaginismus, and I have been suffering from that for 6 years. I remember when I was 14, I tried to put a tampon in. That just didn't work because it couldn't. Which really sucked because I was a swimmer, and that would have been very helpful. So I pretty much have been walking through life kind of like very down on myself and wondering what has been wrong with me. I've lost relationships because of this, and thankfully there has been a solution that has arisen recently. So a little bit about vaginismus in general. So vaginismus is when penetration of any kind is impossible. That means tampons, a gynecologist exam, and sex has just not been possible at all for me. And I felt alone in this for so long. Like, whenever my friends would talk about this, like, I just was always like in the background, like, oh yeah, like, I've tried but I can't, and people wouldn't really understand that, and I was just like, I just can't, like, I don't know why. It's not like I don't want to, but I just haven't been able to do it. So 4 years ago, I was like, okay, I need to actually just be straight up healthy and get a gynecologist exam. So I set one up, and I went, and this is so bad. Like, I was just sitting there, and like she was trying to do the exam, and I literally like shut my knees so quick, like I almost hurt her, and I felt so bad and awkward. Like, it was embarrassing. And she wasn't able to do an exam. And I was like, okay, so this is a little more than I thought it was. So I started to try to find a sex therapist, which didn't really amount to anything. Like, I didn't find anything. So I just have been like going through life. Luckily, my now husband has been very understanding about this entire process, which I'm so blessed for. And when I moved to New York, I was looking for just a general practitioner, so I could have my birth control continued when I moved. So I went to my general practitioner, and I was like, hey, like, I'm just here to get my birth control, like, that's pretty much it. And they were like, okay, well, we're not going to let you go that easy, we're still going to do, like, a regular exam. And I was like, okay. So she, like, goes through all the, like, regulatory physical stuff. And then my favorite question ever came. I don't know if it's yours too, but they asked when was my last pap smear? And I was like, LOL, never have had one. And they were like, oh, why? Like, you just haven't done it? I was like, no, I'm actually mortified. Like, I can't do it. And my doctor's like, well, we actually have people right next door at the Women's Therapy Center that specialize in this. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, what? And I couldn't believe it. And she was like, yeah, literally people from all around the world come to Women's Therapy Center in Plainview, New York. They come from India, Australia. My first day that I was there for my first appointment, I met a girl from Washington. I met another girl who drove 4 hours from Connecticut to go there. And yeah, and it was just so unreal to know that I wasn't alone. Like, okay. So she actually even like walked me over to the women's therapy center, and she was like, "Hey, this is Amanda. Like, she's having the same issues. I shouldn't say issues. She has the same condition as many of the women here." And just like walking into that waiting room and seeing other women there, like my age, older, like, I can't even describe how it felt, because I felt so alone this entire time. Like, I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like a freak. Like, this is like, I don't know what humans are made to do. Like, why can't I do this? I was so down on myself, and my self-esteem like plummeted so many times from like losing previous relationships and all that jazz. And just to be able to like walk in and see like 3 other women sitting there for the same reason I was there was overwhelming to like the like biggest degree possible. Like, I just felt so much relief. Like, I was like, I'm not alone. There are other people who go through this, and which also stinks because I know how I have felt the past 6 years, and I can't imagine, because there are some people there that are like in their 60s and they're coming and doing this. So it's wild. Like, people from all over, and I think I had mentioned before, like India, Australia, like this place is the bomb. Like, I love it. And the people there are so good. I'll get more into that in later vlogs. But yeah, that's the main reason why I want to do this, is to spread more awareness about vaginismus, because I had never heard of it until October when I was diagnosed with it. I was like, there's a name! There's like a reason! It's not just me. So it was just so relieving. So to spread more awareness about that, to let other women know that you are not alone, like, that was probably just like the biggest thing for me. It was just so hard, like, because like all my friends would be like talking about like what they do, and I just felt like completely out of it, out of the loop, and like, I don't even know, it just was awkward. And also just to like educate other people that this is a thing, like it's a valid thing for significant others to be aware of their significant others if this is actually happening to them. And it's not just that they don't, well, they could not want to, but like also if they do want to and they can't, this may be the reason. So I'm gonna do a vlog series on my progression throughout this whole process. So just for an FYI, I started this process back in October. It's now April, so it's been an interesting journey for me nonetheless. But I will explain that in the next vlog. So stay tuned, and thanks for listening.